Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. It is August the 4th, Sunday. The year's 2019. Let's talk trading. Weekly open in gap. But as always, we're early in the month of August. So, once again, money and risk management. Don't forget about it. So, as you noticed, Euro AUD. A fellow trader suggested, I said, I wanted to try trading um, a pair that I hadn't traded before. And if I ever traded Euro AUD, it's been so long ago. I know it wasn't something I did regularly. Maybe it was a special case. I don't remember. Maybe somebody may have seen this pair I did on a video a long time ago, but I really don't recall it. Anyway, as we can see, most of the gaps have filled. We've got one open gap. It's the Australia Canadian dollar, but the gaps have filled. So you gap traders, you were paid off again. So what I plan on doing is I'm going to first analyze the Euro AUD, and let's just see if it is tradable. And if it is, then we will trade it. So let's take a look here. First, I like to look at the daily range and see just what kind of movement it has. And as you can see, more times than not, it's above 60 and possibly 70 or more. So just using the frequency distribution range, that's a 2014 indicator. And we've got a current range of 154 pips so far today, and average range of 86. But you can see here the average range, there's more below than above, so that means there's some really big days, like today, 150. Now, the next thing I like to look at is the potential for breakouts. So we've got high minus the previous high, and then the previous low minus the low. And so you see here, the red dot is the previous high, the blue dot is the previous low, and the blue diamond shows that it broke out, and a magenta diamond shows that it broke out to the downside, blue to the upside. So you can just look across the chart here. Oh, I know I need to show this. We got the TRO high-low breakout. That's probably an indicator in the mother loads, the MT4 mother loads, and then a couple 2016 frequency distribution. And then I have the bar numbers somewhere. Maybe I have them turned off. But you can see here that, usually if it breaks out, it looks like it's going to break out, and it'll break out 10 or more about over 80% of the time. And so let's see, over what? Somewhere 70% of the time or more, it's going to be 20 or more. So you take those daily high-low breakouts, which are part of the wick zone, you see there are pips to be made. So far, so good. Now, for the buy zone traders, we look at the high to open and open to low to see just how many pips we can possibly extract out of this. And you can see it's going to be 20 or more. Oh, what about, let's see, that's 14, about 80, over 80% of the time. So right then, that shows you that this could be a good buy zone trader. And as you can see here on the low side, the short, doing a short trade, well, it's about what, 43% of the time. So you've got what, 57% chance of making 20 or more pips off the open and subtract 10. So, but it still looks like you can definitely trade it off of the buy zone. Now high to close, close to low, that's the rat zone. And you can see here we've got the rat dots indicator. That's the red rat zone, green rat zone. So you can see here it's already had a nice move out of the red rat zone. Because once again, I think we had, what, 150. So you can see here the previous day, both green rats and red rats got fed here. Not so much on the red rats. Green rats, nice bounce here. Once again, the red, it opened, looked like it went up. So it looks like the green rats got fed. So you can see the distribution here. 20 or more high to close is 72% of the time over the last 100 bars we're just looking at. But here on the green rat side, you see you got about 67%. So here you got about 4 out of 5. Here you got about 2 out of 3 chances. But those are pretty good trading statistics. Once again, you can see here that the green rats and the red rats sometimes really feasted. But there is one other thing I want you to look at here. Is the swap. If you hold this long, this is the worst swap rate of all. But if you hold it short, this is the best swap rate of all. So, it seems like the smart trade would be to look for short opportunities on the Euro AUD. And let me know what you think. So that's how I analyze this particular pair. I think I've been through all of the different frequency distributions that I like to use. So now we can go and just look through the charts that I normally like to look through. Okay, like money and risk management, and we once again the weekly gap. But notice the spread 2.6. That's a little rich for me. 2.8 right there. See, normally a euro yen's at 1.5, and the dollar yen is at 1.1. So smaller spread. Now let's just look at the monthly here. We see we already had a breakout out of the previous month. And right now we're 148 pips above it. So, and you see we also broke out of the previous month's lower wick zone. And you can see here, look at the weekly wick zone. So you see here it gapped down and it shot right through the top. That would have been a nice way to start the week. Looking at the range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs over 100 already on a Sunday here, and we're about 6 hours or so into the trading day, but already a lot of movement. I'm not sure what moved these pairs today, but obviously we've got something moving the pairs. And you can see here the pivot point was close to the open, so no bias, just took that, but you see it was a nice move, a really nice move. But just trading the normal buy zone, nothing special there. And then the rat zone, you see here, started out here, shot up here, got a signal here, whatever you use to reverse, and then you got a second chance here. And as you can see here, the pivot was so close, we took it out. But let's see, we've got a weekly R1 right here. Hard to see. The weekly pivot is here. Let me switch it down to H1 so we can see these labels maybe a little bit better. We got the weekly pivot, so maybe we could go short and try and pick up that weekly pivot right there. Let's see, what were we looking at before? It wasn't that one. I think it was this one. So you can see here on the weekly, but let's just look at a monthly. Let's scrunch it down and see where it is in the big picture. This is way back 2008. You see where it is here. Past 6 months, what it's been doing. Because once again, I don't normally trade this pair, so I have to look at it and see. And you can see it opened above the previous month's midpoint, went up, above the previous week's midpoint, went up, and above the previous day's midpoint, went up. So once again, using that previous midpoint as a bias, something to trade off of, proved to be profitable. And once again, we're looking at the ranges here. We looked at the buy zone, we looked at the rat zone, and we're looking at the pivot. Now let's see how many missed pivots. So far this year we've had 5 missed pivots, and then we had a missed pivot in 2018, but there's been no other missed pivots. So on a daily, how about the weekly? Weekly, we've had 2 this year, none in 2018, and a couple in 2017. And so far this week, you see, we've got a missed pivot. So who knows, maybe it'll take it out later in the week. Once again, showing how high that spread is. Simple chart here showing the price action. I'm not sure why these might have to reload this template, because these shouldn't be so big. Spread dots, edit, my font size, I believe I did it 12. Okay, just a one of my dashboards, the GPS showing you previous day's high, close, mid, open, low. This is a chart. I haven't showed this chart in months because we were using the other profile. But you see we've got the wick zone, the holo, close the open on the weekly and the monthly for monthly buy, daily buy zone here, high to close, close to low, rat zone signals. So you can see here we're coming out of the upper rat zone. Actually, this is off of the previous day's high close. So you can see right here we're actually above the we're 19 pips above this high. I know this looks backwards, but it's the previous high minus the close right there. And then on the wick zone, and as you can see, in and out, I guess I'll have to put up a couple more of the frequency distributions to see how many times this will go in and out of the wick zone, but I'm pretty confident it probably does. I'll have to find where that one is. Highest open, lowest open. You can see here we already have a trade would have triggered. You see this came right off the open. One of my favorite trading screens you can see here. It still looks like it'll hold true. You just trade at the line right there. It was rejected off the previous week's high, which it can be expected at times. And as far as the tick level, it looks like we've been moving to maybe about 8 ticks. You can see we got a midpoint here. And I've had this, I wanted to leave this open for a while just to get a read. You can see here on the Einstein line, this is where it started. You can look back, a high, a lower high. So here, you probably see here made another lower high. Just, take your profit. And then here we just got triggered going short. And I've already showed you the swaps. I say if we trade this short, because it doesn't seem like I want to hold that overnight. So, fellow traders, that's it. We've got a new pair, Euro Australian. Let me know if you have any questions about that analyzation. But just remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks this week.